I got a Dexa scan, and in this video I'm going to share with you all the results of the scan, as well as what to expect if you ever want to get one of these and what it's like, because I actually had a really good experience doing this, and I hope that you do find it interesting to some degree as well. A Dexa scan is widely known in the industry as pretty much the most accurate way to get your body fat percentage measured, as well as your lean muscle mass. And the scan also does a bunch of other readings as well, like your bone mass. It tells you essentially the body fat percentage of not just your body as a whole, but your arms, your legs, your core, and the same with your lean muscle mass. And it says on the website that it's about 99% accurate, which again, it's gonna be way more accurate than an in-body scan or your regular foot scale at home, or really any other regular measurement we're gonna be able to find. And getting one is actually pretty simple. What I did was I did a quick Google search for Dexa scans near me, and it pulled up like 50 options. And I chose this place, which was about an hour away from me, but I was also meeting up with a client to do a workout in that area on the same day. So it's very simple. You lay on this platform and there's a scanner that scans over your whole body in about 5 or 6 minutes. And there's a professional there who's administering the Dexa scan on you, and then afterwards, generally they kind of go through all your results. They explain what everything means. They explain, how healthy you are compared to, I guess, what the recommended measurements are in regards to body fat, muscle mass, how that all compares to your peer group, so people in your age bracket. So with the 5 or 6 minute scan and a 10 or 15 minute discussion diving into all the results, it took about 20 or 30 minutes total. And they are usually not free. So generally it's gonna be around $150. Some places might be a little bit less, some places might be more, depending on where you live. And this was actually my first time getting a Dexa scan, and I came away from the experience really excited to get another one, whether it be in 6 months from now or after this current phase that I'm in, which is like a lean bulking phase, like a muscle building type of phase. But I'm gonna start recommending that my clients get these decently regularly, whether it be every 6 or 12 months, just to kind of see where they're at, make sure they're not losing muscle mass as they age, or maybe at the end of certain phases, like after a fat loss phase, to see if they lost any muscle or not, to see exactly how much fat mass they lost, or after a longer period lean bulking phase to see how much muscle we were able to gain. So this is an amazing tool that is readily available for most people. There's going to be some in your area that you can get, and it's just an excellent way to monitor your body fat percentage and lean muscle mass, from time to time throughout your journey. So let's dive into the results, because I was actually very surprised by my results here. For context, I've been in a lean bulk for 8 or 9 months by now, so I've not been eating in a deficit. I've not been trying to stay as lean as possible. I've been eating over 3,500 calories a day for over 6 months now. So my primary goals are trying to build muscle and get stronger, and I've certainly built a little bit of muscle, and I've absolutely gotten a lot stronger during this phase. So my body fat percentage, I asked her if I could guess what it was before she told me. I guessed 16% body fat, because I've been a lot leaner than this. Like I said, I've been eating over 3,500 calories a day for a very long time. I'm not doing a whole lot of cardio sessions. I'm barely doing any cardio sessions at all, and my main cardio is just trying to aim for 10,000 steps a day, which some days I hit it and some days I don't. But my total body fat percentage was 11.5%, which really blew me away, because that was noticeably leaner than I thought that I was. And for context, I weighed in that day, it also weighs you, I was 159 pounds. And I'm about 5'9", 5'10". Obviously I say 5'10". She even said that it was probably one of the 5 leanest readings she's ever given. And she was saying that they're packed with Dexa scan readings. She does at least 5 of them a day, and they've been there for 4 years. So that stroked my ego a little bit. That felt good, especially considering that I'm bulking. And how that 11.5% body fat overall broke down, this was really cool to see. I was about 9% body fat in my arms, which I knew, like, my upper body in general was pretty lean in general, and I knew that I carried a little bit more of my body fat in my legs. So it was just cool to see that on paper and kind of confirm that. I was 11% body fat in my trunk or my torso, and I was 12% body fat in my legs. So again, that all evened out to about 11.5%. In regards to lean muscle mass, I had 135 pounds of lean muscle mass, which I was very happy and impressed with, because if I'm weighing 159 pounds and 135 pounds of that is lean muscle mass, I can't ask for much better than that. Also, it's interesting comparing these numbers, which are more factually correct, to my foot scale, which is the Withings brand, which is a reputable brand. I don't give too much value to those readings, but that said that I was around 16% body fat, and this morning it said I was about 123, 124 pounds of lean muscle mass. So to see 135, really 10 or 12 pounds higher than my scale says, that was really nice as well. And that also goes to show, like, how wildly off foot scales can be when it comes to body fat percentage and lean muscle mass or total muscle mass. To underestimate my muscle mass by 10 pounds for someone my size, is a significant mistake or miscalculation. So if you have one of these at home, try not to go by exactly what it says or give too much value to it, and just mainly use it for the total scale weight. I also thought it was interesting that the Dexa Scan gives you your lean muscle mass for each side of your body as well. So it gives me my muscle mass for my right arm versus my left arm, versus my right side of my torso versus my left side, which, by the way, my left side has 2 full pounds heavier than my right side, which is a pretty significant difference. And same with my legs. My left side, my left leg is 2 full pounds lighter than my right leg. So I can look at that now and say, hey, maybe I do an extra set of Bulgarian split squats on my left side, or an extra set of single leg press on my left side, and push, do a little bit of extra work or bonus work on that one side. We also went over my bone mass and health, which was good. That was apparently normal and in a good place as well. They also had me download the Dexa AI app on my phone, which has all this information here, and that's nice because the next time I go get a Dexa scan, whether it's 6 months from now or a year from now, whenever it may be, I'll be able to compare the information easily on this app from this initial time that I got tested. I also thought it was interesting, they give you like a biological age. Essentially, I suppose what they're measuring is, based on how in shape and healthy you are, what kind of age would they kind of rate your body to be. So they said my biological age is 25 years old, which I'll take that because I'm 31. So I assume for most people, anything under your real age is going to be a nice thing to see. And just for context, like, if you don't know me in person, I'm not some like massive, elite genetic type of guy who, is just like absolutely ripped naturally. Over the years, I've been able to add a good amount of muscle mass, and I've been able to minimize body fat by eating very strategically with my macros and being consistent with strength training over a decade now. So I'm able to stay in, pretty good shape. But there's sometimes misleading things you might see on social media and on the internet about what's realistic, what you can actually look like, as a adult male who's working full time. And there's all these social media influencers who are just shredded to bits, and a lot of them are on like performance enhancing drugs and taking, dangerous drugs and steroids and stuff to, get a lot of followers. But I'll show a little bit of like me just like posing and just showing my normal physique in like a normal setting, so that you can get some context of like what a normal guy who has a good amount of muscle mass for his build. I certainly don't have a lot of muscle mass, but based on my weight, based on my size, I have way more lean mass than fat mass. And like I said, around 11 or 12% body fat. This is kind of what it looks like. Like I said before, I've been way more shredded than this, so I imagine you know, when I'm preparing for a men's physique show, maybe I'm getting to 7 or 8% body fat, maybe 9% body fat, which, you know, is a noticeable jump from 11 or 12%. And sometimes I feel like my body looks more impressive when I'm in the gym training because you have a pump at that time, you know, the blood's flowing, your muscles are at work. So these are just some clips of like what it might look like to get down to around 11 or 12% body fat if you're training in the gym with a tank top or something like this. And keep in mind, one thing I've learned as a trainer and a coach is that everyone looks different at the same body fat percentage. So even if you get to 11.5% body fat, you're gonna look differently than I do. And there's people out there who look way better at 11.5% body fat than I do myself. And it has to do a lot with your genetics, your build. It has to do with how much muscle mass you have, how long you've been training for, and how balanced and symmetric you are. So there's a lot that goes into this stuff. But if you're watching this and you're interested in getting a Dexa scan, I highly recommend giving it a try and seeing where you're at. And then you can, you know, monitor your body fat percentage and your lean muscle mass going forward as your fitness journey progresses throughout life. I hope you found the video interesting. Thank you so much for watching. And if you did like it, consider subscribing to my channel because I make new videos just like this every single week. I'll catch you on the next video.